millennials, students, hipsters, or indie kids. The fact is, there's more people now classed in this demographic than there ever has been before. Nevertheless, only a handful of companies target this audience. Those which do tend to be independent bars and cafes found in the urban areas of Europe. For example, Paris, London, Budapest, and Berlin. Nevertheless, places in America like LA and New York, particularly Williamsburg and Brooklyn, are famous for the amount of hipsters that live there. The bigger companies which fuel this love for what I like to call luxury retro include the cinema chains Everyman and shops like Urban Outfitters. There are a few music magazines that actually try and appeal to this target audience. When I was making Edge magazine, I tried to take inspiration from Mojo magazine, as I felt like this targeted the same sort of quirky audience the most. However, as I was analysing them, I realised that there was more classical artists on the front like the Beatles, so that informed me that this magazine was aiming itself at an older audience who would buy the magazine as a form of nostalgia. This meant that there was a perfect target audience just waiting to be addressed by a new music magazine. Moreover, the fact that this target audience hadn't already been addressed by a music magazine company perplexed me due to how we portray them in film and TV. Indie culture is established by independent filmmakers or companies such as Warp and ICF Films. In fact, just watch a few indie films and you'll notice that every single one has their own brooding, intelligent and anarchic character, all with the same common interests, a passion for good quality music. It's plainly obvious that music is a major part of the production of indie films in order to make them represent the culture authentically. In fact, most characters in indie films are defined by the music that they listen to or the soundtrack which is chosen to accompany their lives. For example, even though there were no words in this scene from Garden State, it is explained completely through Simon Garfunkel's Only Living Boy in New York. Likewise, Carano's The Moon Song explains the blissful peace that Joaquin Phoenix's character finds when he falls in love in Spike Jonze's film Her.
My dear, I'll be there soon.
The way this hipster demographic is portrayed in film helped me not only establish the market in which my magazine is aimed at, being an 18 to 28 lower middle class, white and non-gender specific demographic, but it also helped me understand how I should portray and appeal to an indie market.
Hi! I just got a tax rebate. Do you want to go to dinner?
This is me in the locker.
Firstly, it let me understand that my magazine should have a clear focus on a retro style as well as a passion for classic and contemporary indie music.
I was goofing around in this vintage Triumph I think I'm gonna buy.
Motorcycles are so loud.
What?
I mean, you can't listen to music when you're on a motorcycle.
Additionally, these films help me define the kind of appearance and behaviours that appeal to an indie audience. Hence why I based my character Lola Black on the character Mia Wallace from Pulp Fiction. In both cases of male and female, dark hair, pale skin and a perfect complexion is a key factor of an indie look. To add authenticity to my magazine, I made it look like it was written by typically indie people by depicting this typically Wes Anderson style in my character Ezra Blake. This studious and effortlessly cool look is desired by many indie men and women.
Known for her extreme secrecy. For example, none of the Tenenbaums knew she was a smoker, which she had been since the age of 12. Nor were they aware of her first marriage and divorce to a recording artist in Jamaica.
As for the behavioural traits of this demographic, it's clear that mystery and anarchy are two main features that are in the representations. This idea of rebellion comes in the form of the characters smoking, taking drugs, or drinking alcohol. But mainly, indie characters rebel by fighting society's expectations of them.
You know what I do when I feel completely unoriginal? Blah, 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 blah. I make a noise or I do something that no one has ever done before, and then I can feel unique again, even if it's only for like a second.
That brings me on to my last point of how indie films inspired the creation of Edge magazine. I knew I had to include an element of satire into my writing. The best indie products are those which don't tend to take themselves too seriously, just like this clip from Submarine.
It's a compilation of songs I used to listen to during some of my early formative relationships, you know, and plus just a couple of things I thought you might dig. I think music can make things seem a bit more real sometimes, if you know what I mean.
Thanks.
I've also included some breakup songs towards the end, just in case things don't work out. Which obviously, you know, that isn't the aim, though I've got to tell you it is likely. Passion rarely lasts, I'm afraid.
In conclusion, I believe that my research into this demographic has impacted greatly on my magazine's appeal towards my target audience. In my work, I have captured their desires, attitudes and behaviours to result in a loyal target audience will ensure sustainable magazine sales.
True love is hard.